Hey guys, long time no see. I owe you guys an apology. I haven't posted in a while, but let me explain, right? When I started this project at the beginning of the spring, my customer wasn't pushing me very much. He's like, this was meant to be a project that I work on when I have time. So that's how it started, and as the summer went on, well, we have this big car show here in New Brunswick called the Atlantic Nationals. It takes place in Moncton the first weekend of July every year. So my customer started asking if I thought the truck would be ready for the Nationals. Now, he wasn't pushing, but he was insisting, like asking fairly frequently, if I thought we could make it in time for the Nationals. So I told him that was definitely a possibility, and I just started working very long hours on this thing to get it further along as fast as I could. I did still take some videos for you guys. I just wasn't taking time to edit it and post anything. So I am sorry as a YouTuber.
I have failed you.
But now that we're getting back down to the nitty-gritty, oh, spoiler alert, I didn't make it in time for the Nationals. I came up with some issues with parts availability. So now that pretty much everything is ready except for a few last parts that are in the mail and on their way over, I have a little bit more time, so I had time to edit some videos and post an episode for you guys. If you guys watch down there, if the subscriber count hasn't reached 1,000 yet, there is still time to get in on that raffle for the plasma cutter. I'll have a video with a little more details. I'll put a link up here somewhere. And other than that, without further ado, at least here's episode 4 where I tackle the bed for you guys. So thanks for watching. Well, I'm off to a great start. As I'm editing this, I noticed that I've never filmed an intro for this part of the video, right? I was trying to rush the build, so I was filming stuff out of sequence depending on when my parts came in or not. So I'm going to be showing you what I did for the wood floor in this bed. When you get to part 2, like step 2 a little bit later, you'll see the actual state of the wood floor when this bed came in. So I'm going to show you what I do, especially when I'm working on a rat rod or a traditional truck, whatever, anything like this that has patina that looks old. There's this finish I do that I really like for these because it looks good without looking too good, if you will, right? It makes the wood still look a little bit distressed, which I find fits good for this type of build. Right? I'm sure you've seen guys that have like really nice urethane clear coated like Brazilian mahogany or whatever, right? If you have a nice shiny truck that's been fully restored, has good body work, nice shiny paint, that looks beautiful. But in one of these,
Be like hanging a new chandelier in a haunted house.
So the process I do is a 2-step process, and like I said, I didn't make an intro, so for step number 1, I'll give you a hint.
You're playing with fire here! Oh, I'm telling you, you're playing with fire!
No, I'm playing with fire.
So here's how it's done. So step 1 is completed. Now to step 2, and fair warning for tree huggers with weak constitutions out there, you might want to avert your eyes for this one. Okay, before you guys ask about the motor oil, you should know that doing this has precedent. Like if you can find yourself a very elderly farmer, back when these things were brand new and that truck bed floors made out of wood were the norm, treating them with motor oil was actually a very common practice. Guys would do their oil change on the truck and then take the old oil and slap it on the wood in the back of the bed. And there's a very good reason for that. Greta, cover your ears. Okay. Motor oil is toxic, so if you soak the wood with motor oil, neither rodent, bug, mold, or mildew will touch it. So it actually preserves the wood for a very long period of time, and it's free, right? You will not get rid of the oil anyways.
How dare you! You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words.
So I'm going to treat the underside of these boards. I won't bother scorching them because let's face it, underneath nobody's ever going to see them. So I'll just treat them with oil to act as a preservative, like I said, and then we'll be able to mount them in the bed.
Meanwhile,
well, now that our boards are all prepped, I guess it's time to deal with the out with the old part so we can in with the new in a little while. I wonder how many of these 75-year-old carriage bolts are feeling in a cooperative mood. Guess there's only one way to find out.
a little longer than a few minutes later.
Here, that already looks a lot more better. So, it's a good thing this truck is from Saskatchewan originally, right? Half of the bolts came out of their own free will. The other half had to have a little meet and greet with the die grinder and the cutoff wheel. There's a few things I'm going to have to fix before I start putting the new wood in. This flange here is a little rusted out. Like there's always some stuff that gathers up at the front of the box, so keeps moisture there, makes it rot. I'll have to fix that. And then there's another brace that goes here that I've removed to get the rusted bolts out, which was fine. That one's reusable as is. And there's another one that goes halfway back there, and the flange is all bent. I'm gonna have to straighten that out and fix that. And the brace itself, I don't know how much this is gonna show on camera, but you could pretty much use it to make yourself a custom rocking chair, right? It's almost as if somebody at some point overloaded this poor little work truck. And I'll flip the camera around so you can see it now that I have the wood out. So these are the mounts that I was talking about before, the reason we had to put that rear cross member in. Those two braces that I talked about and the one in the front have some holes that go through it, so those 6 mounts bolt go through the bedwood, through those braces, and that's what bolts it together. Whereas those 2 in the back are below the wood, and you just slide the bolts through there, so that's why we needed that rear cross member. After we've fixed the flanges, I'll be able to put the 2 outermost pieces of wood. There's a little piece here, I don't know if you can see it, where that's a brace, a bracket that holds the outer fenders and it sandwiches the boards together. So once we have those 2 outer pieces of wood in, it'll tie everything back together, and then we can place the rest of them, put our bed stripped, and this bed will be ready to go back on.
hours later.
There, that looks a whole lot better than when it first came here. I'm missing a couple of bolts. I miscalculated when I was at the hardware store. I forgot to count my 2 outside rows. I'll have to pick some more carriage bolts when I'm downtown. So let's mount to the truck, see what it looks like in place. So what do you guys think of the custom wood tailgate? Right? They do make reproductions of Ford tailgates for this generation of truck, but like I said in the beginning, since Mercury's are a rare Canadian option only, they don't make reproductions for Mercury tailgates. And like every pickup truck that's been worked its whole life, tailgates in good condition are hard to find. So this truck actually came here with no tailgate at all, and somebody at some point had made their own wooden tailgate because there was some rotted out wooden boards that were screwed to the side of the bed. So my customer was talking about just doing something to hold would-be cargo in the bed. So I just went a little bit overboard, treated some boards the same way I treated the floor, and then again used a wood burning kit to make the pattern for the Mercury pattern and the name. If I had a big laser engraver, that would have been perfect, but no, this was done the old-fashioned way, all by hand with a wood burner. But it gives it a little touch of class, it shows what it is, and hopefully you guys like it. Actually, let me know in the comments if you like the tailgate or not. So that's it for this time. I'll see you next time in the garage.